Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Liberty Rundown.
I'm Sean.
And I'm David.
And here is the news.
You see, you went from Keemstar to Walter Cronkite there.
Well, you know, he has a school of journalism named after him, so I'm not that mad about it.
The Keemstar School of Journalism?
No, Walter.
I was going to say...
Walter Cronkite.
This one actually factors into the episode because this is more of a tabloid episode. We're going to be looking at the clown show that is American politics.
Oh, yeah. That's been a clown show that's been going on for quite some time now, if I do say so myself.
I think it was since 89, 1789. Anyway, we're going to play everyone's favorite game here at Weekly Liberty Rundown. Who's being a retard this week?
Well, the Democrats obviously, but don't worry, the Republicans will be retarded next.
Oh yeah,
you can pretty much trust that
because the DNC, that is the Democratic National Convention, is this week.
Yes, and boy, was it chock full of let's say interesting topics to speak on.
Oh yeah, first of all, we have the Kamala Harris VP choice.
It's David. It's Kamala.
Kamala. I pulled a Tucker Carlson there. Actually, no. Tucker Carlson pronounced it Kamala, like Pamela.
Kamala. Yeah, which is apparently racist.
It's racist towards the CNN folks.
Yeah, God, I had a lot of racist teachers. Let me tell you, because my last name was quite a bit of work.
Honestly, I thought your name was pronounced Scene for the longest time. Not your name specifically, but like when I was in like 6th grade, I thought SEAN was Scene, and I would never hear people named Scene.
Well, so does the lunch lady. So did the lunch lady. So don't.
The lunch
don't
lady was probably in her like 50s though.
Yeah, and she was Irish, which was even more funny because it's the Irish spelling. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
Full-blooded Irishman, I see.
Yeah. So I want to start this by obviously the biggest sort of bit of news that came out of the Democratic Party in this month, really, which is everyone was waiting for Joe to choose his VP candidate, and Joe had said that it was going to be a woman who is black, which really just narrowed it down, obviously. And I don't know why he made us wait so long, because at this point, there's like one really high-ranking woman who is black in the Democratic Party. And that happens to be Kamala Harris.
I think either pronunciation is fine as long as you're not saying Kamala.
Yeah, Tucker.
Because
looking at you.
But unfortunately, we're going to have to be racist a little more because we're criticizing this woman.
Yeah, then that's apparently a thing.
That's just an act of violence. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead.
I don't even know if that's a microaggression. I think it's a macroaggression.
It's a macrissimo aggression.
So I just, this couldn't get funnier to me. We've had months of protests across the country. Much of them turned riot. Who turned that into a riot? That's to be argued, and we've gone through this before already. But you have this very strong growing base on the left side of the spectrum anyway. And I want to be fair and say left side of the spectrum because a lot of these people are not Democrats. And they have certain feelings toward the Democratic Party that it is the establishment, and I think that is something that us on the libertarian right, I guess you could say, would definitely agree with them on. But to be so sort of out of touch with, I guess, your potential constituency, that you nominate the author of the 1994 Tough on Crime bill, who then chooses a cop to be his vice president. This has nothing to do with the fact that Kamala is black.
No, of course not.
And apparently even that's come into question, which that's something I'm not even going to dive into. We're just going to leave that off the table here.
Honestly, it's not even like I don't even know why people are bringing it up. Oh, that's because they're fucking stupid. But
Yeah. Oh, that comes with the Republicans acting like retards. So,
Yeah.
not the actual Republicans, but definitely their base, which also knows no bounds. But you have
I
Kamala
think
Harris.
Sorry, I think it's actually very similar to the libertarians who vote Republican.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to that. Like, you got these hardcore tankies who are like, all right, let's vote Democrat anyway, even though they like unironically are Stalinists or something like that. I've known my fair share of those guys. They are not the most intellectually consistent bunch.
Yeah, I definitely have my thoughts on libertarians voting Republican, but that's for another day. Anyway, so you have Kamala Harris, who's a top cop. She was a DA in California. Hello, my state, for however long. I honestly don't remember. Welcome to the Socialist West, I guess. But and she really has quite a record, to be completely honest. She, was very tough on marijuana convictions. She did not want to release nonviolent criminals in order for the state to be able to collect more revenue from free labor. Back
Slavery?
in the day, damn it, yes.
Sorry, I really shat all over your joke there.
I mean, to
right
kind
on
of
top of
pander
it.
to kind of pander to the Republicans a bit. Not really, because I don't like you guys, but it's pretty in line with the Democratic Party being being started by the KKK such a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh wait, but the parties just magically decided to switch seats in Congress. It was like a giant game of musical chairs. Back in like 1969. I'm not even going to say that exact date. I just wanted to say 69.
Nice.
Fucking George Wallace was like, "All right, guys. So this side of the room has less AC. How about we go to that side?"
And then the parties switched. That's also another one that we've got to leave off the table, because that's a nice long conversation.
Yeah. It pretty much ignores the Overton window.
Yeah, and so you have Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, who are pretty much the antithesis of everything that the left has been protesting about for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
And obviously ourselves as libertarians are clearly not surprised.
No. These people lack. I don't want to say they lack self-awareness. It's just that the leadership doesn't care, and the grassroots organizations can't really do anything about it.
And I have to speak on that, because here's the thing, right? We do a lot of talk, especially in sort of our inner circles and in libertarian circles, and we joke a lot, and some people actually get really serious about this, about how, there's no logical consistency, blah 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 blah. Look what they've done, yada yada yada, and they're right, because the constituency is still going to back this ticket because Orange Man bad, right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal, like I think as libertarians, and I'm going to speak collectively here.
Oh,
you can
no.
burn me at the stake later.
You just did the big taboo.
Yeah, you can burn me at the stake later. But here's the deal: we need to stop being so surprised and angry about that, because it's become evident. It's become increasingly clear over the years, and this goes for the Republicans too. Nobody is interested in ideological consistency, intellectual consistency, or even being right. They're just interested in winning.
Yeah, and that's actually, I think there's an interesting point here. I think the DNC doesn't expect Joe Biden to win.
Okay. What?
Yeah, here's a huge conspiracy theory.
Whoa.
I think they know that they're going to get 4 more years of Trump, and I think they're just throwing cannon fodder at him in hopes of winning the next time.
Wow. Well, okay. This is one that's new to me. And I'm not just playing this out to play the crowd here. I've never heard this one.
Okay, we'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
I just wanted to tease the next episode.
Damn, that's teasing me too. And I'm on the production
we're gonna
team.
talk about it right after this, though. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about it when I'm making the thumbnail for this. Anyway, AOC Bernie nomination.
Yeah, she seconded the Bernie nomination. I actually don't even remember who was the first. Maybe it was Bernie himself. I have no idea. But you know, it's kind of a fun joke to play with about how clueless Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is. Maybe she's not, because I think the current sort of millennial base aligns more with her when it comes to the Democratic Party. Although I will say that Bernie is not anti-cop.
He's not. He's anti-police brutality, but he thinks the cops can be reformed.
And he thinks that if you pay them more, they'll beat less people.
Yeah, which is I don't think that's the issue. I don't think these people are underpaid. If anything, they're overpaid, but that's a whole other discussion.
I don't think they're lashing out for lack of a paycheck. That's out of touch, in my personal opinion.
They even get benefits.
yeah, and a pension. I mean, they have more than quite a few private citizens, to be completely honest. They've got the whole police union that kind of makes sure they don't get sued and everything. It's a wild ride, that one. But I don't know where he kind of comes up with this idea that if you give them more money, they'll be nicer. But
I think he probably might have been taken out of context or something. But yeah, I don't know if that's like his actual. I think he might have just said something stupid in spur of the moment. And I don't know if that's like his actual belief. But if it is his actual belief, it would be almost as hilarious as Elizabeth Warren speaking for the DNC Native American Caucus. Could you imagine if that would happen? That's hilarious.
Oh man!
Wait a second.
You know, when I saw that, memes really, they were never supposed to be real.
I know. I thought Pocahontas was just a movie.
Based off historical events, but not that Pocahontas tells the whole truth. Obviously, but Elizabeth Warren speaking for the DNC Native American Caucus kind of just rounds off this sort of out of touch ridiculousness. I don't even want to say just the Democratic Party. I want to say sort of the establishment in both major parties are. It's definitely a representation of just kind of how above, not even above, just away from everyone else they are in this place. Excuse me, geez, I just had dinner. But you have this sort of, they want to have all this representation for different races and different peoples and all that stuff. And, say what you will about that. We can go into identity politics another day, which is something that we love talking about in libertarian circles. But the funny thing is that when you have someone like Kamala Harris, it almost kind of goes against their own narrative, because she's pretty white. Did I say Kamala Harris? I meant Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren, yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty.
White. It'd be like me
she's
speaking
quite
for
white.
the Asian caucus. And I'm way more Asian than she is Native American.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if those test results, like if that whole 1 in 10/24 thing was real, but like, I mean, it's a little ridiculous. There's a lot more Native American people in this country, and I'm sure there are quite a few at least involved in politics at maybe a local or a state level. To have Elizabeth Warren sort of heading up this caucus, I don't know. If I was a Native American, I'd feel a little disrespected.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, if you headed up an Asian caucus in a party that we shared, I'd be a little bothered.
It's like, I'm 25% Asian, but I feel like you need to be at least 100%.
Yeah. At least a majority, maybe more than 51, but yeah,
75.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
Yeah, and then to sort of to kind of round it off, to bring it back to what's something normal, I guess, which is really frustrating, is you had Michelle Obama up there, kind of with the standard bully tactics and manipulation, talking about now is not the time to withhold your vote or vote third party, basically saying, I mean, really, fuck your principles.
We're entitled to your vote.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to me. It's like, why? You think that you're owed a vote.
Yeah. It is partisan entitlement. And I think as libertarians, and the sphere when it comes to libertarians and the discussion of voting, which is one that we've been having today with a lot of different people, is really interesting, obviously. But when it comes to voting and talking about voting, this is a conversation that I kind of see happen every 4 years.
Yeah.
In this whole now's not the time, or you're just giving your vote to whoever I don't like, right?
Yeah. It's funny too, because I feel like every time someone's told me my vote is basically for Biden or my vote is for Trump, I feel like they cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Especially considering my vote wouldn't matter if I voted for Trump anyway, because I live in Jersey.
Yeah, and I live in California, so it's like,
neither of our votes even matter.
Yeah, I mean, we both live in like Democrat strongholds.
Yeah.
It's more, our votes are more of a symbology, if anything, or a symbolism, really, if we were to decide to do so. Yeah, it's just it's kind of I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not surprised, obviously, but although I will say that, I mean, her saying that on a national stage at the Democratic National Convention, if you kind of look at it from a certain perspective, kind of spurs hope for people who are in hope of a third party, right? Yeah. Because it seems like there's enough murmuring going around to force her hand and say something like that on stage.
Yep, we're living rent-free in her head.
Yeah.
It's not just Trump. It's now JoJo.
Yeah.
Even though she has a snowball's chance in hell of winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think too, the Libertarian Party thinks that we're entitled to their votes, but I don't think any libertarians think that, so it kind of cancels out.
Yeah, even the Libertarian candidate has to earn the Libertarian vote,
especially the Libertarian candidate.
Yeah, which a lot of people seem to talk shit about, but like I don't know. It's kind of nice to be among people who think for themselves mostly.
Yeah.
That's not all libertarians.
No, a bunch of them think that they just suddenly become enlightened the second they call themselves a libertarian.
Yeah.
And then they're automatically right about everything.
Yeah. Another day.
Another day. We always love to go on these little rabbit trails, but we're going to round this out a bit, actually, with Mike Pence. Mike Pence is one of my favorite clowns in this show because he calls his wife mother. He doesn't hang around other women, which in retrospect is probably not that bad of an idea. And today, or yesterday, whatever day it was, he called the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, he called it a gloomy anti-American affair because Biden said the economy will not recover if we don't deal with the plague that we can't say on YouTube because algorithm. I don't know.
Right.
The algorithm is voodoo. Anyway. He said the economy won't recover if we don't deal with the plague that shall not be named. And it's like, okay, how are we going to deal with it? I don't have a vaccine lab in my basement.
Yeah. And on top of that, we could talk about the sort of procedure behind vaccines and how they're sort of developed. Everyone's kind of rushing to develop a vaccine right now, and certain people are sort of clamoring to get it. And when it comes to new medicine, I have to say, especially if it isn't mandatory, I'm not going to be first in line.
No, thank you. I'm already autistic enough.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna deal with this. It's definitely a shit show, so to speak. I want to reiterate that this isn't the virus that has done this to us. This is our governments. Governments. There was never a national lockdown. This has all been state level.
Yep.
And how they've been dealing with this, which is just really kind of funny. As someone who lives in California and is watching the news, I'm sure you're aware that our entire state is burning right now, as it does every year around this time.
Break out the marshmallows.
What'd you say?
Break out the marshmallows.
Yeah, pretty much. Most red states do. They cheer it on. It's a little annoying, but And I saw a newscast that said, "Stay inside. Your mask cannot block particulate matter." And someone who's just kind of been paying attention recently, I'm pretty sure particulate matter is larger than a virin.
Huh. Really gets the. Speaking of matter, it really gets the gray matter firing.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. My area especially is covered in a cloud of smoke, and then I'm also going outside, running errands and seeing people sitting on patios at restaurants because Gavin Newsom still hasn't lifted the order, and restaurants are not allowed to serve food inside. So people are eating on patios only, getting their food seasoned with ash of whatever just burned up from wherever that cloud flew in from. Yeah,
gives it that nice applewood smoked flavor. Emphasis on wood.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how to deal with the virus. I mean, I know that we've been living with millions of them for millions of years.
Yeah. We've had there was that one the flu.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one.
Different flavors and genres of flu too. There's almost as many different types of flu as there are subgenres of metal.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly don't even know what to say.
I mean, the boomers in the comment sections of every YouTube video on Facebook, they know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
It's too bad
don't run for office or something.
It's too bad the solutions seem very contradictory. Some of them are saying Mike Pence is big anti-America.
Yeah.
And those are their words, not mine. As you can see, it was probably hastily typed somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think we should really just filter out people. This is why we have the RNC, is to filter out the intelligent, well-spoken people. We've got I think it was Nicholas Sandman, the MAGA kid. We have this one scholar who's actually working on the virus now, Kid Rock. I'm surprised he hasn't become Adult Rock yet. Anyway. And we also have the gun couple who was guarding their home. And the first...
Wait. I just... Aren't they registered Democrats?
Yeah, that's the hilarious part. They're speaking at the RNC now. I think we all know why. It's almost as if character assassination is not the best tactic.
Yeah. Weird, huh? What a great way to make a Republican, I guess. I was just making fun of them for their lack of trigger discipline and muzzle awareness, but apparently
the MAGA
here in America,
pretty much set for life too.
Yeah. Oh man, that lawsuit. Who was that? Was that WAPO?
It was
what?
I think it was Washington Post. It happened in
Oh my god.
I love how this thing happened like 3 blocks away from me, as do most of these things, but I'm just like busy like doing something else, so I'm not there.
So the RNC speakers are not. I mean, at least the DNC speakers are in politics.
Yeah. I think the
but
RNC speakers are definitely going to serve more as a rallying cry, though.
Yeah, which I hate to say it, Republicans seem to be really good at doing lately.
Yeah, amazing at it, actually, because these guys, they have a lot of material to work with, and they use all their material.
All the time. Yeah, and I mean, their base isn't exactly the... I mean, neither base is really the height of intelligence, but...
No.
You know...
I mean, we have sex master Ben Shapiro on the right. And we have Cardi B on the left. I think that's enough.
Yeah, with his doctor wife.
Yeah.
It's very important that you're aware that she's a doctor wife.
Cardi B with her rampant yeast infections. All right, I think that's actually it for this podcast. We're going to be back in a few days, actually. Instead of Weekly Liberty Rundown, we're going to keep the name, but we're going to be the bi-weekly Liberty Rundown, or even the tri-weekly.
Maybe even tri-weekly, yeah.
I don't know about
just, you know... Politics. Excuse me. Politics tends to move at the speed of light, and a week just it gives us more than enough material to pack into half an hour, and we just don't have time for that kind of shit.
Exactly.
So you're going to be seeing us much more often.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy that, our 13 or 14 subscribers.
We're gonna make a lot of conservatives very disappointed, considering our profile picture is Kanye in a MAGA hat.
But that's okay. Because so did he with the birthday party.
He certainly did.
So I want to see their national convention. Make sure if you guys liked this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want to hear more, make sure to hit those notifications. Turn all of them on. Don't personalize them.
Turn that bell into the bell of liberty in Philadelphia.
Yeah, break that bitch. And we will see you guys in a couple days, I guess.